And I want to just take a little bit of time with this, if that's all right, Kerry.
Sure.
These earthquakes that happened in January and set off the, quote, tsunami warning that took place in Chile, coming out from Chile. Just prior to that, a few months prior to that, many people were dreaming all along the West Coast, from the top to bottom. I was getting emails from people telling me that water was going to be coming to all of the West Coast of North and South America, to North America. And I've been getting these emails from people for a little while now. But just prior to those events, around late November and December, those emails increased and they became clearer in the visions of those. And so what has been happening recently is I actually had two people on the exact same day contact me and sent me messages saying that they had dreams, visions, of a cloud, and they both used the exact same wording. And one was from Africa, and I believe the second was from the United States. Two entirely different parts of the world, two different people. They said they saw a cloud coming, and that they saw volcanic eruption. So there is a really strong possibility in saying that I've been sensing that June, July would be volcanic or earthquakes. And now, because these two people stepped forward on the same day at the same time with almost the same wording, I'm sharing that information with you. Because these earth changes were most certainly shared with me through these 12 lawns. So 2010 is a very pivotal year for the beginning of these earth changes. I don't believe that they're going to just end just because 2010 is done. What I believe is that they are the beginning, and that there will be at least one major event that is going to affect the earth. I don't have any detail on that yet. However, it is really critical. It's critical that as I receive these messages from the tall blondes, this is the type of messaging that I receive, and then I do my best to share. For example, my last interview with you back in August, after I was in LA, what I said was, it's time to step things up, and you need to start doing the work. This is what I shared with the Project Camelot crew, was that it was really time for them to step up and start sharing their experiences and what it is that they knew that their, quote, job would be, and that it was really important that they put that into effect immediately. The message that I'm getting now, and I've had all of these messages for years, and I'll touch on them here and there, but I put more emphasis on them at certain times because basically the tall blondes tell me that it's time to put emphasis on them. And it's really time for everyone who's having these visions to share them with whoever it is that's around them, because we need to have, as a collective, as much information in the general population as we possibly can. Now, many people are concerned about how do I share information when people don't want to listen, and I'm going to give a suggestion to that. That's very simple. You don't have to go into your place of work and say to people, I have visions, I have premonitional dreams. But you can walk into anywhere, your coffee shop, talk to your grocer, talk to whoever and say, you know what, I had the strangest dream last night. And I dreamt that I saw a cloud, and then I saw these volcanoes erupting. And I think it was, wherever, maybe that it was taking place. And imagine if thousands of people all at the same time, within a short period of time, began to do that, it would simply become clearer and clearer and give sort of the green light for more people to come forward and bring more information forward. And it's critical that we all start to do that, because these earth changes are why it's why I'm doing what I'm doing in my work, because the energy of that, if you get into the spiritual end of things, as opposed to the sort of informational end of things, they are interconnected. And the energy that we have as human beings does indeed have the ability to affect the earth in a positive or a negative way, if you choose that wording. And so we do have the ability to put into our minds a softening of the earth and sending calmness into the earth and affect these changes. And at least we may not walk out of it totally unscathed, but we can affect it enough to at least lessen the blow. And that is the goal here in sharing the information, in talking about it, in bringing unity to people. And, of course, the unity issue is something that I've talked about in the book, I talked about for the last 2.5 years, and now people are really, in the last, I would say, year, really moving towards that. And, of course, many of the indigenous tribes have been bringing that message forward for the last couple of years. And this year, there's been even more of an emphasis with anyone that's had connections to indigenous people around the earth. Those people are now carrying messages basically in some, whether directly or indirectly on their behalf, out to the public saying it is time for us to come together in order to lessen the blow for what's coming. So before this transformation of the consciousness takes place, we must first deal with what it is that we're having physically. Consciousness cannot evolve unless we accept that we can take responsibility. And that is part of the consciousness transition, is to accept the responsibility that we have this power to make physical changes to our surroundings through our thought process and through the acceptance of our power and coming forward and speaking with those in our direct surroundings in a very gentle way to start with, so that we can get that flow of energy out there.
Okay, Miriam, I'm sorry to interrupt you. We're going to go to a short break here, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much, and this is great. Okay, this is Kerry Cassidy, Project Camelot, and we've got Whistleblower Radio. We're on the air right now with Miriam Delicado. Okay, Miriam, I'm sorry we had to interrupt you there when you're right in midstream, and if there was any thought that you wanted to complete, let's do that first, and then I have a couple questions to run by you real quick.
No, I think that we can probably move on to the questions from the callers. Absolutely.
Okay. So a question here we have is, a person is asking if you are feeling or seeing anything about volcanic activity in Iceland.
I am not picking up on a specific spot on the planet at this particular moment. What I can tell you is that I've had information come to me from a couple of different sources, and one of them was, of course, was about a very large volcano down in South America in the Chile region, which apparently 4 days prior to the earthquake didn't in fact have some very large movement in it, and they were very concerned about it because it's one of the largest volcanoes on Earth. Other than that, I am not seeing any direct vision to any specific area on the Earth. However, if I do, I most certainly will be sharing that.
Right, and I do want to say here that I also have dream visions myself, and I wanted to say that not that long ago, maybe 2 months ago, I did get a very graphic vision of a major earthquake in LA. And it was actually like on the scale of a movie. You would see in a movie, I have to say. So that was very clear to me. It doesn't appear that I'm going to be in that quake. However, and I can't give a timeline. That's the most difficult thing. But I did want to throw that out there. And I do live 40 miles from LA, so it was pertinent. However, I believe that either I'm going to be far enough away at the point when it happens, or I am going to be on the edge of it, so to speak.